Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll start with our Scout projects first, and then we'll move on to the principal's report. So we'll hand it over to Cece.
Hi, I'm Cece. I'm a senior at Broadneck High School, and I've been working on my Gold Award project, which involves making 2 communication boards and fidget kits for Belvedere Elementary School, and I'm really excited. The unveiling is scheduled to be at 9:30 on the 28th, and I'm currently in the process. The boards will be printed this week and cut to size. The lumber will be delivered this week. I'll be done with the bags this week, so I will paint the lumber this weekend. So we should be able to get everything installed within the next 2 weeks or so, in time for the unveiling. The church bells are going off. But yeah, so that's my project. I shared the slides. If anyone needs access to those, I'm sure we can get them to you. Oh, good, my slides are going up. So that's a communication board. It is a series of pictures and words that children and adults use to communicate if they have issues expressing themselves with words. They kind of just point to what they need on the board, and then it helps their aide know what to do and what they need. So I'm making 2 of those, one at each of the 2 different playgrounds, and they're both going to be wheelchair accessible because of the height and the location. And then I'm making the emergency fidget kits so that teachers can just grab them on their way out and not have to worry about scrambling for them. There's some of the donations that I received, and we also received a $428 grant from the 21st Century Education Foundation. It was one of the first 3 slides, but it's okay. It just says we got the grant on it, and I'll use that for like the paint and any other supplies we need. Like I'll use it for the fabric that I bought for the bags, and anything that we don't see needing expenses for. So we'll do that for that. And any extra fidgets we want to buy, we have the budget for that, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share my project and give you guys a quick overview. And if anybody is interested in like helping out with the unveiling, let me know, because I'm sure we'd appreciate your help. And making it like, I kind of want to be a little bit dramatic because I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I've been procrastinating it for a few years, so it'd be nice to like get to celebrate it and stuff. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So you're making the communication board and also you said the emergency fidget bags?
Yeah, so the bags I'm doing myself because I need the hours, because it's an 80-hour service project. And I'm stubborn, so I decided to make the bags. And yeah, so the bags and the fidget kits, and any leftover fidgets we have, I'm just going to put in bins that can go in the classroom for regular class time and things like that.
That's amazing. And sorry, you said the unveiling will be hopefully around like May 28th. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's the day after my last day of school. So we kind of decided on the 28th. It's a Friday, I think. Yeah, it's a Friday. And I'm gonna have a friend record it because I'm making a video that will also might be used for professional development, as long as like also with my project. So it's both my project and could possibly be used for professional development.
Perfect. So we'll definitely want to share that with the school. That's so exciting. Did anyone?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Perfect.
I just want to take a moment to thank Cece so much for thinking of our students and thinking of the special needs that they have and the special gifts that they have, and give them the opportunity to express them. I know looking at those fidgets that you just shared, those finger pop ones are really, really popular with the students. So
I have 50 of those. I have like 50 of those and I love them. Like I was sitting there trying to focus and I saw one. I was like, you know what? And then I just sat there for like half an hour just poking at the thing.
Yes, they'll be very, very happy. So we're so grateful that you thought of us and you selected us to support your project, and we really appreciate it. Our students, we know, will really benefit from your time and your dedication to them. So thank you.
Thanks for letting me do it.
Well, we thank you very much, and for all your efforts. And I just concur, those finger poppers are very much like the bubble wrap. So the children really, really enjoy those. So we're very excited for this project. Were there any other questions for Cece from the group? So more to come. And we'll be sure to share the video. We'll be sure to share the boards. So I think we're ready to move on to Miss Allie Ballard then. Did we want to share the video first and then have Allie talk a little bit more, or however you wanted to do that, Miss Rourke and Miss Scourgeance?
Yeah, that sounds great. Does that work for you, Allie?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
Okay.
Let me make sure you guys can hear this before I push play.
Thank you. Bye, Cece.
Thanks so much, Cece. Okay, sorry, because I feel like there's a setting. There we go. Okay. All right, let me know if you do not hear this when I push on play.
Hi, Belvedere Elementary. My name is Allie Ballard, and I'm a Girl Scout. I graduated from Belvedere in
Sorry, can you guys hear that?
Yep, we can hear it.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm gonna start one more time. So it's interrupting.
Hi, Belvedere Elementary. My name is Allie Ballard, and I'm a Girl Scout. I graduated from Belvedere in 2014, and for my Gold Award
So sorry.
project, I decided to build you guys a bench. This is the bench. The purpose of it is if you were at recess and you need someone to talk to or a group of friends to play with, then you sit on the bench and everyone at recess knows to come up to you and invite you to play with them. You guys will be seeing it in your courtyard very soon, and I'm very excited to give it to you. I hope you guys use it very often.
That's
That is
amazing.
so sweet. I love that.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. So Allie, if you wanted to talk a little bit about it.
So the benches, it's in the courtyard right now. The piece that had a big gap in it in the bench, it's because I was in the process of painting it. So it says Belvedere along that, and on the top it says Buddy Bench. And I actually just got a plaque made to put on the back of it with like my name and my Girl Scout troop number and the year. And yeah, so it's basically just like I was really, really shy in elementary school, and I was always really scared to ask anyone to play with them. So that's pretty much where the inspiration came from, is that way these kids don't have to verbally ask anyone. They can just sit and people around them will know that either something they're sad and they need someone to talk to, or they need to be invited in and people will know to come and help them.
That's amazing. I love that idea. I think sometimes even adults could use a buddy bench, especially in times like these. So that's awesome.
Well, Allie, can I share with you? My son came home. This buddy bench is up, right? You put
Yes.
He came home last week and he said he saw somebody sitting on the buddy bench, and went and he knew what it was, and he went and invited the kid to play tag. So
So
what you've done is already working. Good job.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the little video, yes, Ms. Parfit, the little video was shown on our morning announcements that all of you have just saw. The children saw that.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes. So they have a pretty good understanding of how the buddy bench is intended to work. And I think that they respect its purpose. I don't see them climbing on it or just lounging on it. They have a good understanding about it. So we really appreciate it. And as you can see, it's already serving its purpose. So we really do appreciate that. We work really hard at Belvedere to be a welcoming community and a kind environment. And Allie knows that because, Allie, you want to share your background?
Yeah, so I went to Belvedere all 5 years of elementary school, finished in 2014. It's been a while, and now I'm a graduating senior at Broadneck.
Right. So she was one of our Bobcats, and she was a 5th grader my first year at Belvedere.
My handprint is on the mural across from the cafeteria.
So we're very proud. And
Thank
we're
you,
very
Allie.
grateful that she returned. Yes.
Yes, like it was already shared. We've already seen it in use, and Miss Teresa has worked to get it mounted into the ground. So we're very, very grateful, and we're grateful that it's here to stay and we have it safely in the ground. So thank you for your hard work, and you did a nice job on the artistry too with your painting. So have really been coming over to check it out. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we move on with Miss Young? Is she presenting for her son, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I believe she's here.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm presenting because he is also taking a college class on Mondays and Wednesday nights, and he is on his final couple of nights. So he chose chemistry because he thought that would be really fun. But he also is working towards his Eagle Scout. So his project is in the very beginning stages, but we're looking at over the summer. So let me share. Let's see. I don't know if I can share my screen. I'm not as familiar with. There it is. Okay. So I will show you. So the first picture just shows kind of the main entrance of the school, and then so he's doing it in the location with the portables over in that area, and hopefully this will. Did that switch for you guys?
Yes, it's
Okay.
switched.
So this kind of gives you a bird's eye view of what he's going to do. So right outside that portable area, he is going to build an outdoor calming area. So we're going to be adding 4 bushes around this. So this is kind of where the exit area is. He's going to be putting a bench, and then these 2 boxes will represent his tables. So on the top of one table, he's going to carve in a finger labyrinth, so you can kind of trace your finger through there. And then the other table is going to have a tic-tac-toe board that will have some rocks that you can use for playing tic-tac-toe. And then he's going to do a painted breathing activity out here on the sidewalk. So the idea is that if a student is feeling overwhelmed, it's another area they can come to. They can come with an adult. So we're thinking particularly for our students that are in our ACC sites or even our little ones, that they can come out and use that space as a way to calm down. And it's also an area that for the walkers, as the walkers are gathering at the beginning and the end of the day, to use that. But it just is using eco nature and using that, eco wellness as a part of that. So he will be working on this. He's gotten the first part of the proposal done through his scout troop, and then the next part will be working towards getting more formal diagrams, and he's already identified places that he's going to be asking for donations for the bushes and things like that, and he's already talked to some AACPS people down at Arlington Echo for some recommendations on plant types and things like that. So any questions on?
I'm just so impressed by these students. I can't get over it. How did he? You said describe the process a little bit. So he picked this, like you said, and then he goes through his scout troop, sort of.
Yeah, so this is part of his Eagle Scout project. So he has been a scout since 1st grade, and he worked his way up through. So part of when you're an Eagle Scout, it's a 100-hour service project for the boys. And it's quite a lengthy, they have to do a written proposal that's pretty lengthy. Our oldest son did a project at Folger quite a few years ago, actually. David helped with that one, but he was in 2nd grade at the time. And so they have to go through a process of having each phase of it reviewed by their scout leaders. Then they have to present it to the scout leaders. So it's a multi-step process that he will be doing. So we're thinking that we will be and then he has to organize and lead the scouts in, actually building the items, and, he's the leader of that project. So it is a leadership, planning, learning kind of a project. So.
That's awesome. I think the kids will really benefit from that. So that'll be really nice.
We're so excited he picked the area that he did as well, because it's a fenced in area. It's a safe place to bring a student that might be upset or might need some calming, that they can be out in nature, but still be safe. And our students do have access to it throughout the day. So we're really, really looking forward to seeing them use these items. And, maybe the adults will come out there too sometimes and trace the labyrinth. I don't know, but we're really excited to see it all finished. So we thank him for his time. And again, thinking of us, we're so fortunate that we do have these students that have really dedicated themselves to our children at Belvedere. So we can't wait to see the finished product.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing with us tonight, Scouts. I think that's awesome. All 3 projects are really cool.
I'm going to just, it might start playing Allie's.
Hi, Belvedere.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
Hand it over to Miss Lambden with the principal's report.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you all. I want to absolutely start by thanking all of you, Mrs. Miller, Ms. Yakitis, and all of you that contributed to our fantastic Teacher Appreciation Week last week. It was so fun. There was something fun and exciting every day for them, breakfast treats, those smoothie bundt cakes, which are amazing. If you haven't had one, you've got to get, I can't decide which one I like the best. They're all very, very good. Handmade clipboards and raffles. It really, really was very meaningful, I think, to all of the teachers last week. They certainly felt appreciated and were made to feel special. So thank you for all of the hard work that I know that went into that and organizing everyone and coming and setting up and breaking down each day. But it was greatly, greatly appreciated. So thank you so much for that. Also, last week we had a picture day, 2 different picture days. So we were able to get through, I think, pretty much everybody who was hybrid or virtual who wanted to come and have their picture taken. And of course, if someone's not comfortable with that, there is or was the option to send in a picture for the yearbook. If we have overlooked anybody for yearbook pictures, reach out to us and we'll see if there's another opportunity. But we think we've really gotten a lot of folks, so we were glad we were able to offer that to our virtual students as well. I wanted to discuss briefly some information that came to both the schools and to parents Friday. We're apologizing that we didn't have a lot of turnaround time to kind of get this communication out and prepare a little better, but this was regarding the change in mask wearing at recess. So essentially the county has said that if a parent opts to allow their child not to wear their mask at recess, that is now allowable. So the way that you can tell us that you opt to have your child not wear a mask is to send in a bag labeled with their name for their mask. When they walk down the halls, they exit the building, they can place their mask in a bag labeled with their name. It goes in a bin that the monitor will hold. And then at the end of recess, they need to put their mask on and go back inside. So we know that this might not be a choice that everyone wants to make. And certainly if you would like to give permission for your child to not have their mask on, you can email the teacher or send in the bag, and that's how we'll know you give permission. If you do not want to give permission and you do not want your child to remove their mask, I would strongly suggest that you also email the teacher and let the teacher know that you do not want the mask removed. And also please speak with your child, as I'm sure you will, but it might be a little tricky or confusing or frustrating for them if some students have their masks off and they don't. So we just want to all make sure that we're on the same page, and we didn't have a lot of turnaround time to kind of get that ready. So just please let us know what your wishes are and we will honor them. So that was a change that came on Friday. So today it was probably a mix if some parents had given permission. Otherwise, most kids probably wore their masks because we wanted to be on the safe side knowing that parents had given permission to remove them. Also, if you were a family that requested for your child to return to hybrid learning, either 2 or 4 days, you probably received either a phone call from us or an email on Friday. For those families who requested 2 days a week, if your child was virtual and you wanted them to come back, we were already working off of a wait list and we were continuing to work in that order. Pretty much at this point, we have satisfied the requests that we can for 2-day return. Now, the parameters are for how we structured this was, remember the initial survey went out in February to prepare for that March return. And those were the numbers we worked to begin to build our cohorts, to recognize how many cohorts we need and to really identify staffing and accommodations. And that was the structure that we had thought we were using for the rest of the year. We did not anticipate that there would be more surveys done. And as those surveys were done, or as parents requested through the wait list to have their students come back, we tried to accommodate as many of those requests as we could, but we had to work within our current cohorts, which, as you know, we can only take up to 12 students. So we are just about now at 12 in most every classroom. If not, we still have that wait list that we are working through. So if you requested 2 days and you received a call, you know that your student, we were able to bring them back. Most of you probably received the email that said that we just don't have the space at this time. in regards to the 4-day return, that was a board directed decision that every school in the county had to survey families to see who was interested in returning 4 days. Now, for many high schools and many middle schools, they have a lot more play in terms of how many students they can bring back. Remember, at the high school, the cohort is really the whole school because those students have to mingle throughout the day to go to various classes. So really that's a cohort, and they don't have to limit themselves to any particular numbers. They just have to be able to maintain the 6-foot distance. At the middle school, the cohorts are by grade level. And again, they have a lot more wiggle room in terms of the number of students they can bring back as long as they're maintaining the 6 feet. As we know at the elementary level, our cohorts are only 12, and we really started in March at most of those classes being at 12 or at least 10 or 11. And again, we've been working to bring back those students on the wish list. So the 4-day-a-week option for us really wasn't a feasible option because the structures we have in place really kind of allowed us for 2 days. Many of our teachers are working 2 days or 4 days, but it was not a consistent way that we could bring back students 4 days a week. The other piece that elementary has that middle and high school don't have is that midday block of 90 minutes. So without those folks who have volunteered or signed up to be midday monitors, we would be in a really difficult situation. We do have most of our midday monitors covered, but of course we know people's children get sick or they have appointments themselves or other things come up. So even though we have monitors for most of our classes on a daily basis, we do start our days, many days with, okay, which monitors are out? Okay, which staff can we get to cover? So already on a daily basis, we're kind of covering some holes, which we expect that sort of happens normally with, substitute teachers and things. But it is not a structure that we can bring back more cohorts that would require coverage for student monitoring and safety during that 90-minute block. So we really were not at Belvedere, and I think many elementary schools were in the same position, able to bring back students 4 days a week. So anyone who requested that did hopefully receive an email from us on Friday saying that we were not able to accommodate that request. So we would love to have all of the students back. I'll tell you, the energy level in the school building is high. I know it's great for the teachers who are getting that feedback from the students as they're teaching. And that is absolutely our goal as well, is to have our students back. But within the structures that we had to create and the guidelines that we have, we really just weren't able to bring back as many, of course, as we would like to. So that said, we're pretty much in good shape between now and the rest of the year in terms of our hybrid numbers. And we just look forward so much to next year and bringing back all of our students. And, we're thinking of ways we can acclimate some of these kids who really maybe spent a couple of months in the building as kindergartners and then no hours in the building as first graders. And then now they're second graders next year. So we're going to be thinking about ways to bring to school and what school will look like next year. And that's where we're looking for next year. So we're excited about that. But I wanted to say that because I know there are some questions and, it's different at every school and then it's different at every level. So I wanted to speak on behalf of Belvedere for how we had to structure things and make those decisions. Just quickly, I also wanted to talk about 5th grade promotion. Since our last meeting, I was able to work in conjunction. The county created a focus group to come up with some guidelines for elementary school promotion, as well as we on the peninsula, the principals on the peninsula really did work together to come up with what would be feasible within this area. So every school will be creating a slideshow just like we did last year. Mrs. West has already started working on that with the students, and we will push that out on a particular day. We'll let everyone know. Families can have a viewing party or whatever they would like to do. We're excited about that. They always really do a nice job creating their slides. Additionally, the county did allow for one on-campus opportunity for students to come up. So we're going to have each class come in their cars, and we'll kind of designate how this will work. And we will have a backdrop set up. Mrs. Prunovich, myself, Mrs. Young will be there with the 5th grade teachers, and students will be able to pull up, come out, have their photograph taken with us, receive their certificate, their fifth grade t-shirts at the same time, any other, swag that we might have for them. And then, have that opportunity to dress up, to come on campus, to have their picture taken and receive their certificate, which I know is an important thing for all families. And so we will do that where there are 4th, 5th grade classes, and we will probably allot about an hour per class. More details to come as we work on the specifics, but we're thinking right now, we'd like to, if we can, shoot for Wednesday, June 16th. As we know, Wednesday is sort of a half day for students, but teachers typically work from home, but we know our parking lots will be empty as well. So if we can bring, a class up at a time and kind of one at a time in the car, have teachers there, we think that we might be able to get through all 4 classes that Wednesday afternoon. So we're going to try to work on timing. We think that would be best if we can make it work. If we can't make it work because of timing, or if the weather is not favorable, then our other option would be then to move to Thursday the 17th, and we'd only be able to do 2 classes at a time, or one after the other, and then Friday the 18th. And part of the guidelines that the county outlined for us for this was that it cannot be during student hours on school campus, because if we do that, then we have to scan everybody's ID if they're on campus while students are on campus, and that would just not make this process easy or fun for anyone. So we're doing it outside of student hours, which is why we think that Wednesday might work really well, but we want to have a backup plan. So more to come for that. We do already have a great backdrop. But we could be thinking, if PTA wanted to think about, some balloons for either side of the backdrop, or an arch, or plants, or anything else that you can think of that might make it really fun, bubble machine, I don't know. Maybe there are some fun ways that we can do that for the photograph. And like I said, we'll pass out their certificate. All students ordered a t-shirt, so we can pass those out. And then if there's anything else, that we wanted to give out, we could do that at that time. We'd at least have all the 5th graders there. So I know the last time we spoke, as a community, everybody was really excited about the car parade that worked well. And as we know, this will sort of be by class, and they'll be stopping, and it may be broken up over 2 days. So even though they're in cars, I don't know that it would work well for the car parade. And as I shared last time, that really has to kind of be separate and not a school event. But I also know that many of you share that it worked well because I believe it was a weekend last year, if I'm remembering correctly, and a lot of the community members were home and came out and participated. So, it might be that maybe that Saturday the 19th, that might be a great day if the community wanted to, parents wanted to put that together. And maybe the kids could go, meet somewhere and do some minute to win it games or something after, whatever the community decides to put together, or parents. We don't have to follow our regulations. So you can really kind of decide something fun and come up with some really neat ideas for the 5th graders. So that could be an option, maybe the next day on the 19th. But for us, we will plan, we're hoping the 16th, or we'd love to be able to do them all at once. But again, we've got weather and timing to think about. So we'll more information to come for how that would work. And then lastly, I know that there was a question last time about field day. So in order for us to, we really can't offer an in-person field day. With the guidelines and parameters, we wouldn't be able to do it, one, so that they really could interact and play together in a way that would be fun for them. And 2, we have permission to have our hybrid students on campus, but not our virtual students. And we wouldn't want to offer something for some and not for all. But we know that they look forward to something really fun at the end of the year. So we're going to try to come up with some fun things that we would be able to do with all of our students, that last week or 2 when we would typically offer some of those activities. So we'll continue to work on that. We've got a little group getting together with some ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to push out some of that in the coming weeks. We can't believe we're already talking about end of year, but we're here. And I know I've shared an awful lot just then. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a quick question. So Sasha Land and Linda and I have been planning the parade as parents,
Okay.
not as PTA members. I know last year they didn't, my question is about the parade route. Are we not allowed to like drive through the parking lot of the school at all? Like, So I guess last year they said that it ends at the middle school, but technically they said they're not allowed to drive through the parking lot of the middle school. They just have to drive past. Is that the case since it's a
Yeah,
weekend
that was
or?
definitely what was said last year. Now, I don't need to know where you're driving
Okay,
and give permission or deny
okay,
for whatever you decide to do, you know, outside in the community on the weekend, you could certainly do.
okay,
Yep.
okay. That's good. So
Okay.
pretty much parents plan it and it's okay on the weekend.
Yeah, and that could lead into, they could all meet somewhere and do something. I mean, I know
Okay.
typically there was the pool party. I don't know if that will happen, but they could do something at the park or play some games. So
Okay.
that would be a great for some options for them.
Okay, yeah, I think we for sure set the Saturday, like you had said. We actually started advertising the parade. We haven't made the route yet, so that's why I was asking. I think we were gonna do similar to last year's, but I thought it would actually be kind of cool to drive in the middle school parking lots as opposed to just drive past it. But I forget what my question was gonna be. We were talking about maybe having as parents too, saying, hey, fifth grade parents, from us fifth grade parents, if anyone wants to meet after the day of school at Mega Vista to play with each other and stuff, and maybe have a snow cone truck, we were planning on doing that also. So,
That sounds great. And if I get any more guidelines about that, we did get something very specific last year about being on campus. But you know, things were a little different then. So I'll pass it along if I get any more. Thank you.
sounds great. Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
Oh, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just curious more about 4 days and extended hybrid learning. I'm just because I'm curious what specific obstacles came up. I mean, everything you mentioned makes a lot of sense, and I'm not naive. I know how hard this has all been and the logistics that have gone into everything, and I'm sure it's pretty nightmarish to think about doing anything different at this point. I totally get all that. I guess I'm just curious, like, what's our logistics difference versus like Broadneck and Arnold and some of those schools within just a few mile of Belvedere. I just kind of feel like some of our restraints are the same that most schools would be experiencing. So I'm kind of just curious how they were able to pull it off. And we're just not. I guess that's my question.
Yeah, the difference in some cases, I can't speak for all, but the way that when I got those survey results, I really tried to stack all of the cohorts that we knew that we could sustain. I moved students' homerooms if I needed to get enough hybrid students to get close to 12. I know that there were some area schools that might have had 4 or 5 or 6 in a cohort and maybe had more cohorts. So again, we didn't realize that another survey was going to come out. So I wanted those students to come back to truly what felt like a class for them, and so that they had a lot of students. So we did have to do a lot of homeroom switching, whereas other schools didn't necessarily do that, but they had smaller cohorts. Once we were told that it was being opened back up again and we could bring more students, they just merely had more space in those cohorts, or maybe their numbers were even different from the beginning in terms of how many returned. We were at 40-something%. I'm not sure, what the others, where they were. The other piece that factors into that was how many teachers have accommodations for childcare or personal health reasons, and that varies at each school. So in some cases, at a particular grade level, there may be 1 or 2 teachers that are solely virtual, with only left us with 1 or 2 other teachers to work with to create those cohorts. So that's why I really tried to stack those students and bring back as many as I could in the beginning. But when they told us we could bring back more students and then more students, we just didn't have the space within the current structure that I had created. So it was different at every school, but that's one piece that I noted that it was different for us.
And just so I understand, like, when teachers get the modifications or the virtual pass or whatever, that is from when that happened until the end of the year, or is that
in some cases? So that all went through HR, and it was HR approved whether or not they were eligible. And then it goes to the school level to whether or not we can satisfy or meet their accommodations. So when I'm making decisions about which accommodations I can meet, that was based on that original survey of, only 40-something% of our students returning. And once a teacher was approved for an accommodation, that was for the rest of the year. So that, again, that structure that I built at first, or that every school built at first, we were kind of locked into for many months. Now, since then, depending on the nature of the accommodation, some teachers were able to return after they were vaccinated or some other things. Their child was able to go to childcare. Their childcare opened up. So some teachers have returned. It just wasn't enough to make a big enough difference that once I worked through the wait list kids and got them in, there really weren't a whole lot of spaces. I mean, there were some. I mean, we still brought back like 13 two-day students back today. So we were still bringing them back, but we didn't have like whole cohorts to fill beyond that.
And the wait list is based off like the very original survey of kids that said they wanted to come in, or is it like people that have called in since like wanting to come in? I guess because I know some parents, like, things have just changed, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of us filled that out in February, and had no clue what it was going to look like. It sounded
Right.
scary.
Yeah.
So I can understand where some people would change, or situations would change from the original survey. So that, where did the wait list come from? I guess, is it from the original, or is it from?
There was an original wait list. So right away in March, as we began, the survey was due, and then we had to start creating the cohorts. And almost immediately I started to kind of get some requests from families. Hey, we've rethought this. And if it was before kids were back, I was able to probably satisfy about 8 or 10 of those right away. I just built them into what I was doing. But then anyone that came in after that, and they did kind of say, well, you're cut off at the school level right now for kind of changing the numbers. You need to build with what you have, which we did. But again, immediately after we brought those students back, there were families that were requesting to come back. So we've had a running wait list since really March 1st when we brought those students back. And I have really tried to honor the order that people requested to come back. Of course, at certain grades, we had more flexibility than we did at other grades. We were pretty much full, almost from the get-go. But I really tried to honor those first. And then since then, as we know, there's been 2 other surveys. So, I was really able to get through that wait list and bring back the students that I could for the cohorts where we had space. Unfortunately, there were many students that still sat on that list because I didn't have space at that cohort. And then I could go to the survey results and go in that order for the grade levels where we did have space and start to bring back some of those students. So it's kind of a wait list first, but then I had to kind of move on to the hybrid survey results after that, just to fill those cohorts. Thank you. I know that was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot this year. And as I said, we didn't expect to have to be restructuring and kind of changing. And maybe had we known that it would turn out that way, we could have built things differently or thought of accommodations differently. But we were really sort of locked into what schools originally created. So I do know at the elementary level, the 4-day a week is really not working for many other schools. The 2 is for some, just depending on how they built their cohorts from the beginning, and if they switched teachers at the beginning or if they stayed with homerooms, they might have had fewer kids, so more space to bring back others.
So I could have a question, same thing along the lines of that, because I feel like I have 3 kids that are dying to go to 4 days a week. And, specifically in the elementary school level, my kids didn't really they thought for sure McKenna thought she was starting 4 days today, because they see it with it's one group of kids and their teachers are only teaching 2 of the days a week. So I think that was what I kind of wanted to get an answer on, was, is it really the midday monitors? Is it the accommodations that all of our teachers have? Because our teachers in the school are only teaching to one group, one cohort of students twice a week. So they're either teaching Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. So for the lower level elementary kids that really need to be in there, to build up their reading and their writing and everything else, why if the classrooms aren't full, or even if they are full at the 12 on the Monday, Tuesday, why can't that teacher, surely every teacher doesn't have an accommodation to only be able to teach twice a week. So like, why can't that teacher teach to the students that want to come 4 days on the Thursday, Friday, if there's no rotation in the younger grades or anything?
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm having a hard time understanding, because it's like you kind
Yeah.
of, and I know it's not it's not you specifically, it's the county sending out that survey, but they really did give like the parents this false hope. And then we get the letters that are like, well, it can't happen. But I think from a parent standpoint, and I'm definitely, I can tell you that there's lots of buzz from parents of like all these denial letters. And did anybody actually get a letter where they can come in? When we're not understanding why, our teachers are teaching twice a week, and why, if we only have 40% of the students, or maybe now 50 wanting to come back, why can't, like, what is the reason for not being able to teach on the 4 days?
Yes, that was our concern with the survey as well.
Yeah.
Even though there was language in there, because I took it myself from my own students, and my own children didn't get in either. They did try to put it in there and said each school is going to have to kind of work within the structures that they have. But I know that it was really absorbed by a lot of people as this is a possibility, as you would think, because it's being offered. So you think if it's offered, it's something that can be delivered. So to your point, we do have some teachers that are only in the building 2 days a week. So that obviously we could not bring those students back for. In the case where we do have those teachers 4 days a week, it really is a midday monitor piece, because like I said, on the daily now, Ms. Prunovich covers some portion of somebody's class pretty much every day, or I cover, or we pull a staff member and we say, get your lunch, and then we need you to cover this class. So we already sort of kind of struggle to ensure that our students are monitored safely as they eat, as they are outside at recess, and as they come back in for that literacy engaged time. So to be able to bring back any more cohorts, we would need more people to sign up for that position, which we, at this point, even if somebody said today, I'll be a midday monitor if that means my student can come back, the processing through HR takes about 20 days was what HR told us. And we don't even have, I'm not sure how many days of school we have left, maybe under 30, I believe. So it just isn't really a feasible change for us to do at this time. Again, it's a struggle mostly at the elementary level. Middle and high school don't have to worry about that piece. So as long as the teachers are there, or as long as they really actually have the classroom there and somebody's standing with the kids, they can offer those students to come back 4 days a week. But for us, it's very different. We need to have both the instructor there and that midday monitor who can consistently come, who goes through the training and who goes through HR. And it's not something that we can feasibly do at this point. So I hear you. I do think it really was something, it gave people a lot of hope. It gave kids a lot of hope. Kids are asking us, when are we coming back? And it's very difficult for us to be able to say that we can't do it, because we would really like to be able to do that. But it really does come down to somewhat staffing, but more that midday monitor piece. Are there any other questions about 2-day, 4-day, 5th grade masks? I know that was a lot. Okay, email me at any time. I know I'm really not delivering news people want to hear, but I hope I'm at least explaining it in a way that makes sense. And we just are with you, and that we are eager to bring them back next year. And we just hope that there are no limitations on what we can do. We know that it's important that our students are back in school. I feel it for my own children at home, that we would like them back, and we want our teachers back with students every day. So we're fingers crossed for a regular start next year. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lambden. Next, we'll move to the treasurer's report with Courtney.
Not a ton to report for this month. Our bank balance is still in the 13,000s. We spent about $600 on Teacher Appreciation Week. We upped our budget from $500 for the bundt cakes, so that sounds like that was a solid decision. And thank you to Christy for negotiating on those. She got us a fabulous deal on that. So we pretty much stand pretty steady, and I don't think there's any fundraising or anything else coming in. Maybe, you know, Amazon Smile or something like that before we close out the year. So probably closing out pretty close to that 13,000.
Thanks, Courtney. Next, it's the committee updates. 5th grade promotion updates. Ms. Lehman had mentioned PTA possibly providing a balloon arts for the in-person promotion. We also have Sizzle Shack Fundraiser updates if Linda wants to talk about that.
Sure. Let's see. Sorry. So we have not had a lot of signups and interest. They just reached back out to me today. The deadline for signing up for the meal package is the 13th by noon, I believe. They said so far we've had 6 people. So we had discussed getting maybe like advertising a neat prize, so and kind of in a budget. And we did find this really neat light up scooter. So we just started advertising the bingo prize. But yep, so spread the word. We're hoping to, you know, get a few more kids to participate and a few more families, but it's really neat. It's Sizzle Shack kind of wants to move, get some customers from this area, and they've done this before with other schools where they provide their dinner and they've done bingo nights, and it sounds like something fun to do virtually. So if you know any Belvedere Bobcats who are interested, it is they have a vegetarian option as well, but it's a lasagna meal for 4 to 6 people. It comes with salad and bread, and they did say it is freezable. So, you know, if you already have plans to something to eat that night or don't want to eat that night, you can freeze it. The bingo, I will be creating a link and we'll be sharing it probably the day before everybody picks up their meals. The bingo will be pretty short, I'm assuming, right now. I mean, especially considering the number of kids we have signed up. So we'll just have a virtual bingo and a winner, and they will win the prize we've purchased, which is the light up scooter. So that's about all I have for that.
Linda, I have a question. Are they getting instructions on the bingo when they sign up? Like, how are we communicating how the bingo is going to work?
So what I was going to do in the initial advertisement, and I'm going to send out something else, I just put that we're going to have the bingo virtual link to follow, and I figured I'd get the emails from the people who signed up and send the link out probably the day or 2 before, with the time as well. And then yeah, we're probably going to just play music or do something fun and have a cool background or something just to make it a little bit more fun. But yeah, the bingo will probably be pretty short. You know, since we just have the one prize, and like I said, I was thinking originally splitting up by age group, but with only having 6 participants and maybe just getting a couple more, I think I'm just going to do one bingo session.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I personally had forgot to order till today, so I feel like when we send that reminder out, that I think some more families will probably sign up.
Yeah.
Thanks
There
for
might
putting
be
that
still
together,
some,
Linda.
T-shirts in that closet, Linda, too. Some Belvedere. Have you guys been in there? Has anyone been in the building? So there might still be some Belvedere T-shirts in the PTA closet too, if you need, you know, like a couple extra prizes. You know, they always order like a few extra or whatever. I thought I remember at the end of the year there was still a few in there.
I know I should dig around in that closet, because I remember one time we had a bin full of like stuffed animal prizes, which I thought was cute. Oh, that also does remind me, because we have so many bags I got from local companies, this was going to be one of the opportunities I used to give them away, and then I was going to give the rest out during the 5th grade graduation. So whoever participates as well will get a swag bag. A couple of the local companies around here gave some fun things, a stress hammer. We got pencils and Chick-fil-A gift cards. So there'll be a couple of cute swag bag type items that will also come with the bingo card and the dinner as well. So just in case that might help with advertising.
Awesome. Thanks, Linda.
Yeah, no problem.
And then Julie, sorry, I was going to ask just about the 5th grade promotion stuff. I know you guys have been busy working like on the parent run side. I know he had talked originally about yard signs to give to the students, but I think now that's also part of like the parents are doing or ordering themselves, which is good. But I wasn't sure, I was going to maybe put out in the minutes, looking for balloon arch experts, or any kind of maybe sign up for things we could do on the day of the drive up promotion. I have a bubble machine. If anyone thinks of any other ideas, or if there's something that you think the students would like to go with the t-shirt, something little. I'm not sure if you guys can think of anything from the PTA that we could maybe do.
Miss Lambton, would that be a day we could maybe do those bags?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. We would get all the 5th graders, but we should get all of them. So that would be a great opportunity to do that.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I guess I'll touch base with you maybe off the meeting, either to bring them in or how you want me to coordinate with that.
Okay.
Because I do have them already set up in my garage, so they're ready to go.
All right, wonderful. I'm sure they'll be excited for them. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Sure.
Should we move on to the yearbook reminders? Lindsay, I'm not sure myself about some of the dates, if you happen to have them written down somewhere.
Yeah, I did put them on the dates to remember because I don't think Jamie's here, so we will hit that.
Okay.
That sounds okay. Yes, and I'll, again, if anyone thinks of any little things for the 5th graders, we can think. I don't even know, like, my kids are younger, but I don't know if like a sticker for like a water bottle saying, I don't know, something from Belvedere, but if you guys think of anything. Yeah, bumper stickers, they don't have cars. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. So let me know if you guys think of anything.
We'll hand it over to Christy with teacher appreciation information.
I just want to say it was really a pleasure to be able to come into the building and, give the teachers some treats and goodies last week. We did something every day last week. And I think the highlight was definitely Tuesday with the bundt cakes. And Rhonda really gave us a nice deal. So we're going to try to do some fundraisers with her in the future. And I just want to thank all the families also that sent in the gift cards for the raffle. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Yokaitis for coming in Friday and bringing in the treats that day. That really helped me out a lot. And that's it.
Well, we want to thank you again, everyone who really enjoyed that week. So thank you so much. And the teachers were very excited to get their gift cards Friday afternoon.
Yes, I think we did have one in tears.
Oh.
She was very, very, very excited to go to the point. So yeah, very happy.
That was really the queen of the gift cards. That one I think was $50. So I knew that one would be exciting.
That's awesome. Thank you, Christy.
Yes, thanks, Christy.
Pleasure.
Looking ahead to the next school year, we are very excited with the plan to have students in 5 days a week next year, and for the PTA to have more chances to add some positivity to parents, teachers, and students. I will be stepping down as president. My husband is most likely going to be deploying, and I will be starting the radiology program at our local community college. So I'm just going to be pretty busy, my hands full. So we'll be looking for volunteers for next year's board and committee chairs as well. Please help spread the word that the PTA is open for all parents and appreciate any help, ideas, or time. We will be sending out information in Google form to let us know whatever positions you would be interested in. Some upcoming dates to remember is May 13th at noon will be the last day to place the Sizzle Shack orders. Saturday, May 15th, due date for club photos and background arts for the yearbook. May 19th is the Sizzle Shack Fundraiser and virtual bingo. May 21st is the last day to get in your Scholastic book orders. June 1st, we'll be asking all parents to submit their PTA interest form. And then June 14th is the last PTA meeting for the year. And we'll have elections for president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary positions.
Sorry, Julie, about the extra H in there. It's not, I know it's not supposed to be there, and I said Sizzle last time, but I know it's
Oh,
definitely
Sizzle.
That was my bad. I'm so sorry.
I was like, oh my God, it's like a tongue twister.
I don't know how that got there. I'm sorry.
Also, be sure to email us or reach out to us on Facebook with any questions, comments, or ideas. I also want to put it out there that when we were planning 5th grade activities as parents, we decided to create a new Facebook page for 5th grade families to be used to relay information to each other, but also moving forward as they go into middle school, something so that we can, as parents, set up play dates or just get a way to interact with each other. So that on Facebook, I believe, is called Belvedere 5th grade families, if anyone hasn't heard about it and would like to join. Are there any remaining questions before we head off for the night?
I just had one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sue.
This is Mrs. Young. I just wanted to let you know that if you, just as a reminder, the summer programs this summer are very broad. They are partnering with a number of different community-based agencies. All of the summer programs are free, and they are, for the elementary level, they're almost exclusively in person. So take a look at, if you go to the main webpage for Anne Arundel County Public Schools and just search summer programs, you will see, you have to scroll to the bottom and you'll see a link for elementary, middle, and high. So once you click on the elementary, you'll see the different options. You can see them by date, so by the week of the summer, or you can see them by location, so you can see where they're located. There will be some transportation. It's kind of going to be like in hubs. And my understanding, if you have signed up for a summer program, they're still offering new ones as we go too. My understanding is that if you have signed up for one, you will get an email as a parent. So keep your eyes open for your emails, because then you need to confirm that you want to be in that club, that camp. So just kind of keep an eye out, and if you can kind of help spread the word that that's how it seems like it's working. So then it's kind of like a magnet program where then you have to accept your spot. So just keep your eye out on your email, because those emails are rolling out as well. But if anybody has any questions, they can feel free to reach out to me. I'm glad to help them out.
Thank you. And that's a nice segue to mine. My little announcement was also, please look at your email. You should have received a message about the online book club, or not book club, book fair. And I did notice that there was a deadline on dates to remember, so thank you. But Mrs. West has organized for us a Scholastic Book Fair, and it's completely online. And I did see that you had the date of the 21st of May is when it closes. So everybody should have received an email this afternoon with a link where you can go in and shop virtually. If you didn't receive that, you can reach out to me or to Mrs. Wendy West, our media specialist, with questions. And we just encourage everybody to take a look and support our book fair if you're able.
I have one more question that's off topic from what we talked about before, but I was curious, as we get close to the end of the year, what is the discussion, like a teacher like meeting their class outside the classroom? Like if I mean, some of these kids have never met their teachers before. I realize there's not going to be any way to do anything officially, but like, if there was an opportunity where parents got together and the kids got to see each other, I mean, could a teacher get in trouble if it's outside of the classroom for like showing up to a park to say hello to their class? Like I'm just putting it out in the open.
Yeah, if they choose to do that sort of on their own time, they're more than welcome to do that. So I know many of our teachers did. They wouldn't have been able to participate with that car parade last year had it been on campus or had it been a school activity, but because the community put it on and it was in the community, many of them were able to come. So I would envision that it might be something similar this year, where they would like to come up if they're able and available, and really kind of wave to the kids, see the kids. And we know that many of our students of all ages will come out
and cheer on the fifth graders. So that could be an opportunity, if they're able to come and join us.
Are there any more questions or comments? Okay, I think that's it then for tonight's PTA meeting, and we'll hopefully see you next month for our very last one of the year.